I'm Eric with Tradition Bows.
And I'm Jordan Hamilton with Tradition Bows.
And we're here today to talk about us a little bit in our company. First thing is how we got started. You know, it's been a long time passion of ours ever since we were kids on the idea of archery. And we took that a step further and started making our own bows. It was a little rough at first, but after we've dove in and kind of dug up a lot of information, asked a lot of questions, we finally grasped the idea behind how to make a bow, and we started producing them actually pretty well. And from that point, we started trying different species of woods, found out which ones work better than others, which ones are more expensive and not worth using. But after we got hit that phase, we started actually producing a good amount of them and turned it into a hobby of ours, and making arrows along with strings. I mean, you name it, we've tried to make it or made it. And then that kind of led into sales and kind of turned into like a side business for us. And that's pretty much where we've gotten to today so far on that.
Some of the things we want to cover are the things that we like, our interests as a whole, as a company, and as two individuals that love the passion of bow building and archery. Pretty much, to sum it up, anything medieval of that era is really where we pull a lot of our resources from, information, historical, whether it be historical or a historical account. We enjoy everything from blacksmithing to bowyer, bow building, to anything and everything. I mean, dress, the apparel that they wore at that time, how to make it, what it was made of. And so the things that we try to hit on as far as topics are anything that's of that era. You can pretty much ask us a question on, and we'll have a wealth of knowledge. If we don't have an answer for it, we can pretty much find that answer online. That's one of the wonderful resources that we have available to us now is the internet. So pretty much anything and everything about medieval, Renaissance period as a whole is really where we find our drive for passion. So
Another point we wanted to hit on was our principles. You know, we feel that it's important to share the art of archery in every aspect, to how to shoot, how to improve your shooting, how to build a bow, how to make strings, anything, you know. And just because we do it as close to history as possible does not mean that's the only way. We've got power tools to make things a lot easier nowadays. We choose to do it all by hand because really it's more of a relaxing thing for me when you're here in the shop, you know, by yourself or with a best friend, and you're just shaving down a piece of wood with a hand tool. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, you know. Seeing the bow become what it is from a stave, you know, and working it with your hands. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. And I'm also not saying that we haven't substituted some materials for others, like I brought up in one of our other videos that we use artificial sinew. Yeah, it's artificial. It's not what they used back then, but it's close and it's cheap. We've also used like nylon string.
yeah.
You know, not as good as a sinew, but hey, it'll work. So, you know, our principles are we kind of want to keep things as traditional as possible, which is where we kind of got our name. Our business motto is traditional bows for traditional archers. Traditional archery is a dying sport, you know.
Yeah.
Whether you want to look at target practice or hunting, you know, it doesn't matter. The compound bow has kind of crushed anything that has to do with traditional. And that's what we want to keep alive. That's why we're doing these videos and sharing as much information as you guys want. Um, giving us questions, we'll answer them freely. That's one thing that we need to do is, if we have information or knowledge, we want to share it with you, because we want to keep that legacy alive. And today's youth needs something like that to kind of keep them grounded. Something natural, something that's been passed down through history, through the ages. I mean, you look at where the bow came from, the Stone Age to where it is today, as far as compounds with scopes and all that other mess, I mean, it's come a long way, and it's here to stay. So this is a good thing to learn, for our youth and everything like that.
The other thing we want to talk to you about today is our company and what we stand for. As Eric covered in our principles as a whole, as a company, as an individuals. Bowyer in traditional archery is something that is very important to us. It's not just a hobby; it's a way of life. If you can think of a situation where you want something, you can find the information, the resources to make that happen. Well, that's what we've done with our company. Our company has started out with a vision, and then it's turned into a reality through hard work and perseverance. All these bows are handmade. Like we said, we might use power tools, but those power tools are replicated off of historical foundations of what they used back in the day. Take a belt cylinder, for example. That might have been a grindstone at one point in time that was used by a person with hand cranking motion. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's done in the same fashion. It's just maybe time has changed. You can't do things past the way they've done. You cannot do the things present that they did in the past the exact same way. It's very hard to duplicate. And the people that do it, and they're very expensive. And the people that do it are actual people that work for historical societies or people that work for museums as informational subjects and topics that they actually present to the museum to try to inform people. So the thing as a whole, as our company is, we want to provide bows to people that want to pay a less price. If you look at the price of a bare bow compared to what we bring you and give you from Tradition Bows, it's a lot less money, and it's actually a lot more time in hand consuming hours. So what we want to do is we want to give people the best product for their money, but we also want to give people the ability to do it themselves if they so choose. Not everybody has a shop. Not everybody has the ability to spend hours and hours and hours working on one bow. So, we want to give people that variety of options that they have. And the biggest thing for us is, if this art and this craft dies, then a part of us dies. If we don't continue this trend of passing and passing and passing, just like people have learned over agriculture and some of the other things out there, you'll never learn. You'll never continue it, and it will just die off. This is the oldest weapon in the world. Look it up anywhere on YouTube, Google. It is actually a founded and a legitimate thing. So you look at the atlatl, it faded out, and the bow took in, and it's never stopped. So we want to pass that on to you guys. We want to make things available as far as products, and we also want to make the knowledge available in case you, as an individual, want to build the boat. So thanks for watching, and we really appreciate it, and take care.